Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 275. Had to cancel out that first one, didn't find any new champions. Oh, and here we go. This is tough. I really want to give Azir another go. I feel like I've really kind of gotten in my mind how we can get a good Azir going and kind of figured out the problems. But we haven't put together a video for LeBlanc yet, and so this is who we're going to be taking. I have, a pretty good idea that we can get these, really good aggressive decks going with LeBlanc. Not a huge fan of Whispered Words, Thorn of the Rose, not spectacular, but, I think that this is going to be fantastic. I just have in my mind that, there's so many good one-drops, and then, if we're able to put together one of these curves of just like any one-drop, follow it up with either the Trifarian Challenger or the Trifarian that gets, +2 attack if you have a Noxus unit on play, and then just follow it up with either LeBlanc or Rose of the Thorn. It's just such an incredibly powerful curve that if your opponent stumbles at any moment, you're just like super ahead and going to crush the game. And so this is who we'll go with. We haven't drafted her yet, and so should be a new experience for you guys out there. We're going to take a peek at her on the site. If you're not familiar with it, it's ftpbus.com. That's where I keep all my expedition-related stuff. The set reviews, I'll have to get to. Honestly, it's been pretty frustrating. I had a big chunk of the text review together, and then I accidentally deleted it. And then I recorded like half the video for the epics and rares, and accidentally deleted that as well. And so I've sunk like so much time into this. It's tough to go back and do it now that we're this deep into the set. But I'll get it out there at some point. And then over here in the guide section, by the time this video is out, we should have the tier list up here in the video form, and then of course we have the tier list up and ready for you in the tier list section of the site. But today, we'll be over on the Expedition Helper. We're just going to scroll down to LeBlanc, pick up Reputation, and take a peek at what we're working with here. And so, yeah, like in general, there's kind of a couple of things going on. If you want to think of this as the Reputation theme, find a card with that. Where you at? Whispered Words, perfect. You activate this by dealing 5 damage 4 times, and so we do have all of these 5 attack units here. LeBlanc herself, Bloody Business, giving us a way to strike. Rose of the Thorn, Trifarian Hopeful, he's that unit I mentioned earlier. The Hopeful and the Glory Seeker are the 2 drops I mentioned earlier. And so, we do have all of these 5 attack units. There is some of the payoff here in the Trifarian Assessor. We do have the Reckoning at Epic. We don't see things like Intimidating Roar here, but this like 5 attack matters theme does live here. And so that is kind of point number 1. I don't think it's really worth pursuing. We're okay to pick up like 1 Assessor. We're okay to pick up like 1 Whispered Words. But I think we're really, really, really going to be pushing for 2 things. We either want to be paired with Shurima or paired with another Noxus champion, just something that will help us get a whole big old bunch of early game aggression, and then a way to kind of interact in combat. And so, the double Noxus pairing is how we would have a really good early game. There's so many good Noxus 1-drops, and then otherwise, if we could get this paired up with a Nasus or a what's his name, Renekton, there's just so many good ways to get the vulnerables. And so, that's kind of the idea here. We'll see how this plays out. So here, as far as this pool is concerned, we have pretty reasonable early to mid game units. We don't have the bottom end of the curve, but we have the 2s and the 3s. Have a touch card draw, and then a touch of removal. But let's see, it's just kind of awkward to talk about at that point. We need to find a reasonable pairing that we can work with LeBlanc here. And so, interesting. I think we're probably just going to have to take this Azir. I'm not like really excited about the Azir pool in this sense. He doesn't really have the cards we're looking for. We're more so along the lines of looking for, again, the Nasus or that Redectin. But these other pools aren't going to work out. This Kindred Slayers is not going to be really happy paired with Noxus. I mean, he's going to be fine. He's the best champion in the game. You could arguably, if you're wanting to just go for 7, just take the Kindred because he's so strong. But it's not what we're going to be doing here. I would rather try to craft a cohesive kind of deck. And then down here with Lux, you could maybe figure out something that you could pull off with like Lux and Mimic, but I don't think this is what we're going to be trying to do. There's just typically not enough spells and Noxus to really support a Lux deck. And so, yeah, I'm happy with this Azir. I think it's pretty reasonable to try to pair up LeBlanc with Shurima. There should be, a reasonable number of, reputation style cards, you're going to see them with Sivir. That's where these technically live. Sivir is the partner pooling. This would be okay. You know, she has the 1-drop unit that we'd be looking for. There's things. Are there even? I mean, I think there has to be at least one, right? As far as reputation cards go, do they really just not exist here? Besides, there we go, Inner Sanctum, your one choice. But no, with Azir. My problem is, you know, the cards we're looking for don't quite exist here. It does have 1-drop in Dunekeeper and Destined Poro. These aren't super exciting, but it does have them here. Rockhopper, although fantastic 2-drop, he'll be kind of like the key to what we're looking for. It's just that, you know, we're really taking this pack to find ourselves into Shurima. The ideal kind of units that we're looking for, we can see them quickly over here with Nasus. It's this big combination of vulnerable things. So we have Exhaust or Rockhopper and Ruthless Predator, and then up in the rares we have Bakai Sandspinner and Rampaging Bakai. Just a big old pile of combat-based removal spells. All of those tie back in with Sivir. Since, you know, she loves seeing damage be dealt. And so this is, you know, kind of the direction we're hoping to find with these. We don't really want a lot of these Azir cards, although I think he'll play out fine. We're looking more along the lines for either, you know, Nasus or the other one, Renekton. I can't remember Renekton today. That's a tough one for me. But okay, as far as these go, I don't really want either of these. I do understand that this kind of theme lives here. You know, this hibernating rock bear, I guess we should call him the Grumpy Rock Bear, has 5 attack, plays to this 5 attack theme, but I don't really want to be spending our turn 2 getting a unit on turn 5. This is just something, you know, in a pinch, you know, it would be okay if our curve is busted. You know, it's better to have this than nothing, but I would rather just have like any 2-drop that can attack. Any 3/2 for 2, I'd be much happier to have than this. An Inner Sanctum, pretty low value. So I'm going to take the Battlecaster Guillotine. We should be pretty much a go wide deck here anyways. And then, you know, we do get some kind of side bonuses with this Battlecaster between things like Azir and Sandcrafter. So, you know, if we're generating these Sand Soldiers, giving them +1 attack, you know, it's some combos. It may not be the best thing in the world, but it's something. Okay, how do we continue on with this? This is not really the kind of pack I was hoping for. We can, you know, take Wild Claw Shunpo, but we don't have any Overwhelm units at this point. Like, Wild Claws is still fine even without Overwhelms, but, you know, that's ideally what we would want. And then, you know, out of all of these cards, I want the Exhaust, but Ricochet is so bad. I mean, I guess we can give Ricochet a try if we can, you know, reasonably make it cost 3 mana. It's just historically I've felt like this card is garbage, and so I'll take it. I'm not excited about it. I am excited about the Exhaust, and then we'll just have to kind of see how that plays out. Okay. And these packs are not playing well with us today. Be okay with Boomerang Blade. I think this is, you know, a pretty great activator if you ever get to say, you know, Boomerang Blade off of LeBlanc and just deal that 5 damage to 2 units. Very powerful. I don't really look at this so much as a removal spell as being like a reputation, you know, kind of LeBlanc damage, a Sivir activator, and that it just spreads out so much damage so fast. And so it's a card I'll typically want one of, just not with Saltspire. So, you know, with these other packs, we're just seeing a lot of, you know, kind of utility cards, and so I'm going to take the Rite of Calling with the Shaped Stone. Hopefully we can pick up some Rock Hoppers so that we have cards to activate Shaped Stone with. Even with not, you know, Radiant Strike has historically just been a fantastic combat trick, and it's no different here. And so even if you aren't activating this with the Landmark, it is still an extremely high quality card. Okay, and speak of the devil, we're getting a Rock Hopper somehow. And so he's much better than the Tusk Raider Hunt the Weak. I don't think we really need to pursue these expensive cards. We'll have some kind of fall in our lap. So don't need to add something expensive like Hunt the Weak. So if we're going to take one of these Rock Hoppers, it's either with the Sandcrafter or the Weight of Judgment. And, you know, I really like staying away from Weight of Judgment. I think we have a pretty easy chance, or a pretty reasonable chance of getting, you know, interactive elements. You know, we have an Exhaust, we have a Rock Hopper, we have a Noxan Guillotine, we kind of have half a, you know, removal spell and Rose of the Thorn generating Guile. Like, we have ways to deal with our opponent's stuff, and as we've kind of like historically seen with these Shurima decks, it's very easy to just like glut up your 4-drop slot, and so I don't really want to be adding Weight of Judgments. If it was like pick 11 and we didn't have any removal spells, then fine, but not quite what I'm looking to do. Okay, cool. And then, I mean, these are reputation cards. I get what they're trying to make me do. And, you know, our unit count is not looking very good, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Exhaust Ruthless Predator. And then, you know, we do need some help here. We need some, we need some good units to show up because this is not shaping up actually how I intended. But, you know, it looks like we're going to be taking a Siphoning Strike. We could arguably take the Decisive Maneuver Minotaur Reckoner, but I'm a pretty big fan of these Siphoning Strikes. Just giving all of your allies the +2 bonus is so strong. But man, maybe we do need to envision ourselves a little bit more as being this kind of go wide deck. We already have the one Battlecaster. We get the decisive maneuvers. We have a couple of ways to generate Sand Soldiers. I think I can find a way to make this work. I do always like having one copy of these decisive maneuvers type cards. Okay, and here we go. This is what I'm talking about, being able to just randomly get a big expensive dude at some point paired up with Legion Saboteur is great. And so again, dodging this Weight of Judgment. I don't want Arise or Destined Poro. Pretty easy takedown here. Okay, at least some reasonable things are showing up. I think we just want to keep pushing our curve down. You know, the Shaped Stone is fine. Dunekeeper is a reasonable dude. I tend to look at this as more of a defensive unit than offensive, but, you know, if we're trying to push our curve low, we got to have at least something down there. And then I think we're good as far as interactive elements go. Brutal Hunter is not super important here when we have double Exhaust Ruthless Predator, and so these will be fine. Okay. keeps trying to give me these weighted judgments. Just not going to take it. Here, I'm happy with Battering Ram Legion Drummer. Drummer, you know, great 2-drop. Plays quite well with things, these various vulnerable giving cards, so we can get a quick attack challenge, and then, you know, Battering Ram, reasonable top end. Good stuff here. Our top end is pretty well set at this point, between having Reckoner, Ram, and Tusk Raider. Okay. All right, well, I guess, you know, it's going to be all the exhausts all the time here. We're pretty high. Our unit count is looking pretty bad, but I don't want Intimidating Roar, even though Iron Ballista is extremely good. I think, you know, our 3-drop slot's going to pretty easily be filled with more LeBlancs, and so these aren't super important takes here. And I do love me an exhaust. Beautiful, beautiful Dunekeeper with Rockhopper. That's a very easy take here. Okay. Can I ever bring myself to take more ricochets? It's just it may have. I'm trying to think if it was just like a function of a bad deck that we had before, to where this was, you know, not really ideal. But like, what point can we even hit with 5? You know, I'm kind of seeing this like Rose of the Thorn over here, thinking that would be, you know, a reasonable take. Only ways to hit for 5 are Rose of the Thorn and our LeBlanc. Then once we get up to our top end, these don't, you know, super matter as far, you know, the game's just kind of ending at that point anyways. And so, interesting. You know, of course, the Bakai good, we're just not going to be able to hit Reputation early. We're going to have to be like after 3 wins before we can reliably hit that. And so I think we're okay with the Ballista and the Rose. What do our 1-drops look like? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. This would get us up to 5. I don't think Calling Strike is ultimately too important here. I'm just going to go for these quality units where we're actually getting 2 units. Our unit count's still kind of messed up. We need to get rid of a handful of these spells and pick up more units. Okay, but then here, I'm not like real big on, you know, Brutal Hunter, but this Destined Poro is trash, and so I'm happy to go ahead and pick this one up. All right. So, yeah, it didn't come together quite how I imagined, but we do have to at least go and make someone premium to help our deck out and get going with our winning ways. I'm pretty sure with this, though, Dunekeeper, Saboteur, your rare Legion Drummer, these are all flipped. Rockhopper, of course, flipped. Ballista is flipped. You're rare. Are we done with the commons here? All right, so we got to go with common spells. Where does that get us? Rite of Calling. Exhaust is such a good one. I'm on board with leveling up Exhaust, even though our opponent doesn't get to watch us do it. I'm pretty sure that's one that we can level up. So let me take a peek here real quick. Go to the collection, click on the cards. There it is. Not even owned. Man, I've had to spend so many wild cards since the set came out. Oh, my life is quite the struggle. Don't mind this 183,000 dust and 362 common wild cards. It's a real drain to the bank account having to pay for those. But okay, so I mean, yeah, this deck didn't come together how we envisioned. I was needing like a lot more of the Noxus cards to show up that just didn't do so. So, the fuck was that? What's this little thing on his LeBlanc, on his Lysandra? Is that one of those one of the things you get for mastery? Anyways, so with this, I think we can get rid of Rose of the Thorn as well. I want to pick up at least 1/1 or 1/2. Didn't find any, but we at least refound our Rose of the Thorn. Okay. If he's heard all my tips and tricks on making your Sejuani's happy.
Fight or die.
Okay, nothing we can do about this. This is a pretty not good start. Of course, we pick up our 1-drop on turn 3.
Everything's easier behind a mask.
Sure. Let's see how blown out we can get by a Lysandra Shards. So I think we have to add the Saboteur. We have to just be getting some kind of like combat here where we're killing some things off. Otherwise, this is just too bad to pass. I mean, technically, we could go and pick up a... I think we do need to pick up a champion. We can cast both of them, thankfully. This goes off. So let's destroy a mana gem. What up, LeBlanc? Okay, so we can flip our LeBlanc this turn, right? She needs to see me do 15 damage. We have 12 on board, 13 from the Saboteur, plus 2 from the Ruthless Predator. So how do we want to go about this? My big worry here is getting popped by either a Brittle Steel or with a Elixir of Iron. Now, the Brittle Steel doesn't suck that much, but I think what I'm kind of like looking at here is I want to hook his Unscarred Reaver with LeBlanc, and then hook this thing with the Saboteur, and then get in for 7 damage with the Rose. So let's do this. Give you +2. We don't technically have to lose a unit. Hang on. Okay. Changed my mind. I'm back on board with doing it this way. Okay. This could go a little poorly if he has, some way to, if he has an Elixir of Iron down here, but preventing the face damage. Okay. Still pretty good. We're getting ahead on board now. Sure. Can't block this thing. That's okay. Let's draw some cards. I guess we could like Guile it, but I'd rather play Guile next turn.
Stay out of my way.
Yeah, so let's see where that gets us. Let's start with Dunekeeper. We do all of this, Dunekeeper, Battlecaster, and Guile Exhaust. Yes. That kind of changes things a little bit in that with the Battlecaster that we can now hook kill this the Scar Maiden Reaver. Yeah, I was a little worried about that one happening. So we're gonna have to pivot just a little bit. Hopefully hopefully our LeBlanc doesn't get murdered here, but okay with this so far. You can't imagine they have like 2 ice shards, right? You just can't play around that. Okay, so who do we care about more? Do we care more about this Reaver or this Lysandra? It has to just be the Reaver, right? And he's tapped out, so we can abuse this with Exhaust.
Smoke and mirrors.
hang on, we gotta do it like this.
Follow my lead.
Well, if we really want to, we can flip our LeBlanc, right? We can deal 8 damage. No, we can't. Oh, we can deal 8 damage. Okay, never mind. That's it. Almost messed that up. I almost messed that up pretty hard. So, all right.
The cold creeps in.
Okay.
Anything for the right coin.
All the frozen thralls. This is ultimately my big problem with Lysandra. It's having you know, something to do with those. And you know, I imagine that that's something that's going to be showing up in the future, but with the way the sets are released, you know, there's only one really, you know, kind of bonus card for Lysandra, and it's an epic, so kind of a struggle for her. But this is fine. The Hopeful LeBlanc Inner Sanctum, you know, at least additional ways to kind of hit some of these reputations, and get, you know, some more LeBlancs. Pretty easy take. Right, on to the next one. Yeah, I don't know if y'all are familiar with it. Today is one of my favorite holidays. It'll be tomorrow by the time this video comes out. It's officially 311 Day. Some of you born in the 80s and perhaps the 90s may be familiar with. One of the greatest bands of all time. Get to celebrate. Alright, these draws just aren't coming together. I mean, I know we didn't really hit all the early game we were looking for, but then kind of turdy starts.
Would you look at this place? What a shame for you!
Okay, not quite ready to deal with that. But if he wants to block with this Bakai Reaper, I will Shape Stone. These plays kind of worry me in the sense of, you know, they have a lot of sacrifice cards now. It's a lot easier to have, you know, good quality sacrifice cards without really stacking your deck full of bad things. I think the Cursed Keeper is much better than it used to be. I'm still not on board with really liking it, but it's certainly better than it used to be. If he attacks with it, I'll certainly block here. Yep.
The Emperor commands, the land obeys. No place for men.
This is only going to give 1 health. I think we just have to take the 5. I guess we can Rock Hopper here. That makes sense. We want to take this thing down. Like next turn, our play is going to be to Brutal Hunter as 3. You know, Brutal Hunter something maybe. Exhaust the Reaper. I think we can just leave it. Okay. I do worry about him playing Kindreds and us spewing off all of our interaction this early, though. You worry about him? We probably need to take control of the board. I think this is fine. At least we can hook this thing, whatever these are, Bakai Reaper, if we need to. And then have a block on his Escaped Abomination when he never blocks here.
Heads will try to run.
Can't let that happen. All right, get that reputation hit in. We're getting there. Reputation 1.
Do not see what is, see what will be.
Okay.
That egg, did it move?
Don't think we want to whispered words here. I'm kind of envisioning us having to decisive maneuvers next turn. We'll see how it plays out. Do have a Noxus unit for this guy now. Our exhaust just got much better.
The world's in a grain of sand.
A desert to bury our fools.
Okay.
I stand for Noxus!
Sands beneath me and winds behind me.
I mean, this Azir isn't even that scary, but he is about to flip.
Chase them down!
Suffer! You are my prey.
Where should we take this?
Try to run.
Oh no, that's not a that's not a value hook given the amount of health that we have. Okay, it's all reasonable.
You got caught. Out of my way.
Yep. So at the end of the day, we have 2 units on board to his 0. We have draw 2 in hand.
Can't steer.
That's all we can ask for. Here comes Kindred. Okay, so we just play everything and open. That seems pretty reasonable. Our Azir's going to flip as well.
Never won.
Alright, so we just have to take this damage or whatever he plans on doing here.
Men die, but Shurima is sending sky.
I think we should be okay in the sense that he only has 1 mana. He could exhaust something here, which would be absolutely brutal. But yeah, with just a Kindred hit, our life total is not in jeopardy. This is fine. Okay, it's just gonna mark. It's gonna mark our Sandcrafter. Oh, it marks our Azir thug. Yep. How greedy can we be? Can we just do the exhaust Sandcrafter and then hook Kindred with a hopeful? I think it's okay.
Each a grain of sand in a mighty desert.
Sucks not being able to decisive maneuver here with our double unit generators, but that is what it is. Really? I guess at least he does it now instead of doing it
They will.
in the middle of combat. Can we lethal? I don't, we can only hit for 6-8 short if we
Onward, we march.
okay. Brutal. Such a fun and interactive champion to have running around an expedition. Okay. But I mean, we made the decision to not play decisive maneuvers that turn, and so okay, is what it is.
We'll rise.
Let's just pass. He's gonna keep doing stuff.
You could be so
Yep.
much more.
Brutal.
They will.
I don't know if you can like hit elusive with this thing. Great double damage. Are we dead to this thing? Like if we're gonna block like this.
Empire.
Okay.
Dust on the winds.
What if we stun his kindred? Oh, you're just gonna die anyways, right? We take less damage this way. Go to 5. Go to 3. Yeah.
Scatter.
Yeah, dude. Emote, you're playing kindred. Like, we're real proud of what you've done here. Like, you drafted the best champion in the game and played it. Like, this is something I'm real proud of you for doing. Can we do it with fearsome? Nope. Let's pick up a spell shield. I know you can't hit anything cool like elusive here, and so. Alright. Alright, well, this one's done. That was a fun game. It's so absurd. Like, I can't imagine anyone. Like, I know what's happened. Well, I don't know. I don't work at Riot, but I assume what happened, as all things go with Expedition, is everything gets balanced around ladder or constructed, however you want to call it, and then Expedition is kind of just left to their own devices as to making, kind of limiting how frequently overpowered cards show up, because they're never going to nerf a card for the sake of Expedition. And I'm sure Kindred came down the pipeline, and the Expedition team was like, "Are you fucking serious? Like this is going to be great. Everyone's going to love playing against Kindred. You just play a 4/4 quick attack for 5 mana, which is already a good enough deal that just kills a unit every turn. Nice. This is going to be fun and interactive." Jesus. But at least for this, rant's over. I'm going to get a Kindred rant at least like every Expedition for the next 2 months. But let's get rid of Rite of Calling for Calling Strike. At least just pick up another removal spell here. It's so not fun to play against Kindred. Like, it has been the least fun champion to play against in arguably the history of Runeterra. It's like, you see, like, all of these cards came out. Like, there's so many cards that came out with the new set that weren't even released in Expedition. How about you just don't release Kindred in Expedition? You know it's going to be a monstrous problem. You just don't do it. Just, there's going to be like non-people on Reddit bitching about it that Kindred didn't get released, and they buy all the Kindred fan art on Etsy or whatever people do, and everyone else that actually enjoys Expedition just has to deal with that thing for eternity. Okay, is this ever a reasonable, like, Dune Keeper? I mean, probably. It's going to shut down his attack. I'll trade if he wants. Still have our 1 mana up for LeBlanc next turn. Yeah, works for me. Or 1 mana next turn for our Exhaust plus LeBlanc.
The best lives are beautiful.
I stand for Noxus.
Is it worth to just go ahead and deal with this thing? I mean, probably not. Like, none of these combats are scary. Can't, like, Whirling Death me or anything. Yeah, it seems great. Trade 2 mana for 4 mana, get our LeBlanc on board still. Seems good.
Nothing but Noxian might.
The world's in a grain of sand.
Okay. You don't have any big plays here other than a hook. Changes it.
Everything's easier behind a mask.
Okay.
When I move,
Alright, let's see where that gets us. Whirling Death is pretty bad, but otherwise we're in a pretty good spot here.
back to earth. I whisper truth into lies.
About 6-8. Far away from Mirror Image, 7 more damage. Alright, we should be pretty fine here, though. This Minotaur Reckoner is fantastic here. It's just going to shut down whatever he plays. Yep.
Anything for the right coin.
Dude can't even block. Okay.
Another rose for the garden.
Another rose for the garden. Nice. let's see. Which one are you? Reasonable, but I feel like our top end is good. This doesn't feel like the kind of top end that we're really looking for. Then these other trades, not fantastic. I don't want to trade away my rock hoppers ever, and we already have 3 exhausts, and so no reason to really do that. And we don't have enough of a Sand Soldier theme to want to play Desert's Wrath. I'm happy with Sandcrafter being a 3/5 that attacks and makes a Sand Soldier. Don't really need to pursue this theme any further than that. So let's go ahead and skip over this one. So cool. Turns out a 5-attack quick attacker is just about as good as I thought it was. It's pretty good. Our opponent's probably like, this is worse than Kindred. Alright. All the supports. It's a reasonable start up to this point. Could arguably keep the shaped stone. Maybe we should, but then we only have like 1 chance to find a 1-drop. I think it's okay. I think I'd rather just have the way to protect our Legion Drummer. Beautiful.
I keep step with the heartbeat of Noxus.
All looks good to me. Couldn't ask for a better start. Plays the do nothing card, plays the dude that can't interact with our Legion Drummer. It's all looking good. The choice that we have is, do we want to play Azir and start getting these Sand Soldiers going, or do we want to just Ballista for the more damage? Because we're certainly going to play Brutal Hunter on our next turn. We're not going to open attack. Probably just want to go for this damage approach.
Yup, that tasted purple.
He wants to trade Lulu for the damage. We're completely happy with that. This is ultimately the problem you have with the support decks, is if you don't have the big curve, like without the 1-drop and being able to stop our units, it's just his units are so bad on defense. He has to be threatening good attacks before this point. Okay, can't take down Lulu with this, unfortunately, but it's not going to stop us. He wants to risk the good block, I'm okay with it. And then if he wants to just take some damage from Legion Drummer and let our big boys keep rolling through, also fine with it.
Nosy dewdrop.
Yep. What up, LeBlanc?
Two worlds, one balance.
Technically shut this down with a Dune Keeper. I'm pretty on board with this.
Desert by my side.
It must be done.
Keep your distance.
Okay.
Our sun rises.
It's just so hard for him to play, like relevant units here. He can play, like one big boy or a bunch of little ones that don't matter. We should just be able to pretty much ace everything. We have drawn decisive maneuvers now. It's not going to be lethal, though.
Do not see what is, see what will be.
Darling, you are dressed.
We ever want to
kill.
guile this swole squirrel? I think we do. Get this out of here. Don't need this getting a value block and getting big. The only way we're ever going to lose is if he does some kind of weird swole squirrel shenanigans.
This is the fun part.
We put 15 before LeBlanc, which is this 5, 8, 12. Nope. Okay, which of these is scarier? Probably the Shen. Taking him to 2. Okay. And should have attacked with the Azir. We would have just ended it. I guess we should have stopped to do a little bit more mathematics there.
But Kinku.
I whisper truth into lies.
Should have done a little bit more mathematics. I mean, I'm still pretty sure we're going to win this game, but no excuse to not attack with the Azir and just win with the combat trick. Okay, I mean, he's going to Zenith Blade something. When he Zenith Blades and taps out, we'll know that he can't lethal us, but we had the decisive maneuver on lockdown just in case.
They won't like this.
We should probably just kill these where we can, right?
Simpleton.
Fortunately, can't Ruthless Predator our Azir into anything, but... Okay. Is this, and we're just gonna open. Hopefully we'll hit some like spell shields or something off this Inner Sanctum, and then we'll hook this thing and kill him with our leftovers. You got none of this is ideal. I guess tough helps protect you. Really just looking for spell shield, but plus attack would work if we didn't get it. Okay.
Remember this day.
Try to run.
Arise. I have risen. And with me, Shurima.
Yeah, Shurima. It's just so many words. I haven't paid enough attention to follow the cutscene. Okay. Works for me. Game friend.
Then cheer on me. Our legacy is eternal.
Okay, we're taking our last LeBlanc here. Not excited about picking up this Desert Naturalist. It doesn't play to any of our combos, but otherwise these will be fine. Okay, okay. What we got? All the Targons, full-on Targon Nightfall. No Doom Beast today. Alright, that's a curve. That'll work for me. Could technically get rid of Rose of the Thorn, but I think she's a fine keep. Right, we're just definitely gonna do like Saboteur into Drummer into LeBlanc, then you can kind of think about it. I guess you technically just don't have to play LeBlanc, but
Everything's in place.
these are the kind of draws we were envisioning when we put this deck together. Do we ever need to like save up this exhaust? I don't think so. I think we just accept that we're probably going to lose our Legion Drummer.
Moving into sight.
That's a different story.
I need just a moment.
Say what up. You wanna run some units into this? Probably not. Alright.
You're mine.
Could technically exhaust this and put it in front of Legion Drummer, but we'll get something better. He has to improve his board rapidly, or he's just gonna fall behind this. These quick attack challenges are so huge. Alright, we're Gonna have to Calling Strike that. Well, we don't have to. Let's see what he does. If he just passes back, this is also okay. Is there a world where he ever passes back? I'm fine if he does. Okay. Let's act like we care, I guess.
By the moon's crescent blade.
Okay.
Night descends. I will be heard. Face your heretic.
Works for me. All right, so we're gonna flip this LeBlanc next turn. There are two ways about it. Oh, this is just better than Exhaust, right? We get an extra unit on board. I dig. Yeah, he has to play something. Don't care what it is. It's gonna get vulnerable. We could just LeBlanc it.
What a shame for you!
The best lies are beautiful.
Watch me!
I'll cut them apart. Face me.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful.
The black rose blooms once more.
Yeah, bloom up, Black Rose. Feels good. I like all these cards. I don't know. Playing control decks is dumb, right? I'd rather just play LeBlanc any day.
Darling, you are dressed to kill.
Is it
Okay.
really so?
I was gonna say if he attacked, we'd just take it. He's not threatening anything. The way we can kind of run into issues in that spot is if say he blocks, or say we block it and he has Targon Shield. Now we're down an attacker, and so just want to keep our units on board so we have a very good open attack. Okay, what is this? I mean, we don't need 8 drops. I don't think we've gotten to turn 8, but I'm curious. If you've slain 13 units, you win the game, right? If you've slain 13 units, kill all enemy followers and summon a copy of me. Yeah, so it's exactly what this guy says. If you've slain 13 units, you win the game. We can skip on the 8 drops. Kind of interested in picking up Whirling Death over Ricochet. This thing's just like so expensive, but it's like I kind of see in my head where, these boards are getting pretty empty here at the end of the game, and we can just close it with a Ricochet. I don't super like it, but we're also picking up more ways to get reputation, right? At the end of the first game, we just had we had maybe one. Who do we have? We had one Rose of the Thorn and one LeBlanc. Now that we're up to 3 LeBlancs, 1 Rose, and then 2 of the 2 drops, it seems like we're getting to a spot to where we're more likely to hit it and quit it. But I'll hang on to it. I kind of want to give it another shot. I think the correct play there is to pick up the Whirling Death, but I still want to give this a shot in the event that, if we're crafting our deck for the final battle, maybe we'll, pick up a handful more of these 5 attack units, and then these reputations will make this more useful. All right, on to the next one. Feeling good, man. It's just like when I have to make these these life decision thoughts of, man, I wonder if LeBlanc or Draven is better. Like these are the kind of big life questions I really like to be asking myself. Not so much anything else. Just
No one's the wiser.
all right, perfect draw. I think this is a very not risky attack. We do want to get the value from the Hopeful on the next turn, but just a huge chance he just doesn't block with Zoe. Yep. Got this humongous go wide start, right? We got the Hopeful here, the Battlecaster with the Dunekeeper next turn. Dunekeeper making the Sand Soldier. Oh, beautiful. Play cards that aren't units. Yep. So that's exactly what he needs here. He's gotta hit the Serpent real hard. Do we just pivot into LeBlanc? Seems like it's so much more damage to do it this other way. And I think kind of my ideal with not playing LeBlanc is this, like if he says plays a 3-3 here, that's very likely that he just plays a 3-3. Now, you know, it can't block anything. It could technically block the Battlecaster, but that makes this Ballistic Bot like so good for us. And that it can block the Battlecaster but not kill it, can block the Sand Soldier but not kill it, and then if it wants to block one of our Aggro units, it's going to die.
I am the herald of the glorious evolution.
Oh my gosh, I'm a herald too! What's your favorite thing you ever heralded?
Okay, assume he's not. We're never interacting with this Victor, but let's at least give him the option to, you know, want to trade it with LeBlanc. Generate, sure.
Let's do it over there!
This is fairly unfortunate with the Naturalist. Such a bad card in this spot.
Yes, of course.
She's not super close to flipping. Okay, I think this is safe enough. Let's just get a unit on board. We can maybe get a guillotine going, but it's not a very guillotinable board. So I'm thinking that we're just going to exhaust Victor into LeBlanc and then hopefully force him to block with Zoe. Otherwise, we're still kind of in the same spot, right? Where we're attacking with these like 3 health, you know, 3 attack units that can take down most of what he would want to be running into us.
Yeah, why not?
Azir's command!
Okay. This leads us to where we can guillotine Victor. I don't think we're going to want to do it, but gives us the chance. Oh, no, we can. He's got Regenerate. This is still fine, though. 6-8 damage. Close to flipping LeBlanc.
Our sun rises.
Ingenious. Energy core upgraded. Metal is perfection. You still cling to flesh and fur.
Oh, man, he hit Lifesteal. Fuck. Okay. We just have to... I guess we shouldn't have played the Battering Ram, but we just have to threaten to block this Victor with LeBlanc. And he hits Quick Attack. Oh, buddy. I feel better about playing the Battering Ram now, but... Brutal, brutal, brutal. Gotta take so much time now that he's gonna gain, 10 health. Resets everything we've done. Yeah, whatever. Oh, that was an extra Victor death ray. Oh my gosh, and he doesn't attack with it? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Gives us a chance. Like, what if we draw an exhaust here? What's your flip? 2 damage? Do we just want to, like, pre-combat guillotine this Victor? I think so. I'm on board with this. Right? Do we want to do this? Well, I guess we have 2 things, right? Say we attack. He puts Victor in front of, like, Battering Ram. Puts Niandroid here. Oh, sure. I like this. Let's just get this stupid thing out of here. So hopefully he plays like Hexcore and we can just respond with the guillotine. Yep. Okay. Uh-oh. How bad is that? That's the worst, isn't it? That was like the actual worst thing that could happen. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Okay.
What a treat. Surprised to see me.
Okay, so he has to block something.
You won't scratch me!
Damn. Alright, I guess the battering ram's going at least.
I am everywhere. I am everyone.
Oh, brutal. Could we have ever won this with the, I don't know, whatever it's called, the LeBlanc damage? Close.
We must improve. We must evolve.
This is still okay. It's tough for him to find, like, things that really matter here.
Ingenious.
Okay. Can't believe he didn't attack with us 2 turns ago. It's been so much time babysitting this victor. I feel like in most situations we would have just lost this game 2 turns ago, so I'm glad that we're still in it. But okay. It's elusive. It's just pass. I mean, he seems to like not attacking. What are you gonna do? Okay, that's up to 12. Gotta skip block here. You got another card for us? Nope. Okay.
Each a grain of sand in a mighty desert.
All right, so I'm gonna play Azir because we can get 2 units on board with this, where he can only play another 1. Not sure how we're supposed to win this one. We can still get rid of some of these problems with a with an exhaust, but right, we can exhaust down Victor, or we can exhaust him way over to the right. I don't think Rockhopper's who we're looking for, but
buys me a new sail.
let's see if he plays a unit or something.
Metal is perfection. I have risen, and with me, Shurima. Shurima, your emperor has returned.
Yeah, Emperor Azir, what up? I could even win this game if he was flipped. Okay, so I mean our attack has to look something like this.
Destiny calls.
Onward.
Yeah, it's not gonna do it. Let's just let this one go. I mean, I'm glad that we had like our outs there.
Exactly as I planned.
I honestly feel like, you know, a lot of these games where you find ourselves winning, it's because our opponents gives us time when they shouldn't do it. And that's one of these things that we're really trying to minimize, is keeping our opponents from getting these extra turns. But here, you know, we can trade Azir for a LeBlanc. That seems pretty good to me. We haven't had any trouble flipping him. We just don't have much support for him, and so I'm happy enough to pick up LeBlanc. Okay. Let's see if we can salvage here. All the Shurima got here. The Azir Nasus. I have played against Nasus. I was like, man, I don't even know if I played against Nasus. Look at this. That's a start. Gotta go premium out this Battlecaster so I don't have embarrassing hands like this. Look at this. Look at this. Everybody's just hating on him. Exhaust showing up all premium. Oh, this is embarrassing. Whoa, he's got the Sun Disc. Holy shit. Haven't seen that yet. I did see the lead dev said that if you're in like this Ascended pool with Azir and you do something to like make your deck look real Azir-y, for lack of a better word, like, you know, if you have like Azir, Nasus, and Renekton as your, you know, champions of choice, then it will, you know, kind of really up your chances of seeing Sun Discs, but they aren't set up like in the sense of, say, like a Fishbones deck to where you're getting that bonus. Yeah, this sucks. Where you're getting that bonus directly from the champion pick. So with this, I mean, okay, like that has to be how we do it, right? And we just give him the option to not block anything. I have to assume that this turn ends with us just having LeBlanc and him having no board, but not ideal. This is looking like it would have been a much better, say, like Exhaust plus Battlecaster. Would you have a block? You're just gonna like hook this next turn, or do you have a Exhaust for LeBlanc? Looks like it could be the Exhaust for LeBlanc. Or, you know, Ruthless Predator, whatever. Sure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we got our combo. We can destroy his thing. Does that even work? Is this on summon and this is on play? I've never actually tried to do this. I mean, I guess we could probably just blow up his Sun Disc, but like, is he ever gonna flip this thing? It's like, even if he flips one champion, it's gonna drop this to 12, right? Who cares? And then if you know he flips two champions, he's gonna get it. But
Now what could you be plotting?
Nasus has to get strikes in. He's never leveling up Nasus. This thing's never flipping. It's just gonna sit on his board the whole game. Okay. All right, let's see what this does. I didn't think that worked. I'm glad to know for the record, but I'm, you know, content with this. I really don't want you know, the Naturalist hitting the Sun Disc. I want this to just sit on his board the whole game and give him a 5-inch instead of 6. I mean, this is still pretty reasonable. The Naturalist exhausts very well. Of course, LeBlanc exhausts well. Too bad we missed a point of damage to get her to flip, but be okay. Alright, dude, let's make the decision. Gonna destroy his own. That's not surprising. That Sun Disc was never going to do anything. Okay, so this still gives us the option to either Exhaust or Ruthless Predator. First he hits. So, I mean, I don't like super care about any of these units. We do have to deal with this Rock Bear via LeBlanc. Kinda wanna, well, it doesn't matter otherwise. So I think I'm cool to just get the damage in. So let's do it like this. Or do we need to save this to potentially... We probably have to save that to potentially deal with his Nasus. So let's get you in. Then I want LeBlanc to be out on the right, and this guy on the left, right? She needs to see 1 damage to flip, so let's get our 1 damage out of the Naturalist, and then let her see an additional 10 damage.
I will run you over.
Ah, I see you.
Seems legit. Oh, doing stuff. Okay.
The black rose blooms once more.
Bloom at Black Rose. Alright, so that'll pick up 10, I guess. Yeah, we're just looking to take a 5 hit if he opens. Who cares? Alright. We do need a decent unit, though. Not gonna lie. Would be nice to have a decent unit here.
For our city.
More than any mortal domain has ever known.
Beautiful. Okay. So pick up another champion. I guess he picked up NASA since he didn't play it.
Who's ready to reckon?
And if it's an Azir, we have this exhaust primed and ready to go. It'd be cool. I'd like to get a unit and give him, the opportunity to play Nasus so we can hook kill it. But let's see if he agrees.
Sharpen the blade, secure the kill.
Start getting these mirror images as well. Start to stack up quick. Okay. We want to hit this. It's going to take it to 1 health. Let us attack with the Battlecaster without having it die. Then we can do one of these.
Smoke and mirrors.
Okay. Maybe we can get a kill next turn. I'm still kind of worried about this. I'd feel better if we had more units, but if we can get some mirror images going, be okay with that. Wonder if there's a world where we should be predatoring this LeBlanc, just so that we take him to 1 and can try to kill with LeBlanc flips. Right? We got 4 LeBlancs in our deck, and so if we hit a Sigil of Malice, be able to take him down quickly. This is gonna die anyways. Okay. Still get our mirror image. Then he'll die at the end of the turn. Alright.
It's as though I never left. A millennium ago.
Awkward.
You are just as the stories tell, Curator.
11, 14, okay. Why would he do that? Oh, to get the 10 damage hit in? Okay, sure.
Stops turning.
Alright, well we gotta draw something. It's gonna be tough for us to sneak through this without an without an overwhelm. But oh buddy, welcome to the party.
Some spirits are fated to burn.
Okay. Yeah, this is okay, right? An ally 2. Give an enemy vulnerable. Give an ally 2. Let's give an enemy vulnerable. This better. Let's not counterspell the whole thing, right? This just pops his shield. So, as it stands, we can Tusk Raider into his Ambassador and take it down. Maybe we should have just attacked instead of mirror imaging, but is what it is at this point.
My move.
Your spirit is hollow.
I think we got him. I don't think Shurima can interact here. He can play that combat trick. Okay, that doesn't matter. Good deal. Alright, alright. Oof. Overwhelm showing up just in the nick of time. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Another rose for the garden.
All the roses, all the gardens. Got it. So let's see. Man, I've kind of felt like I wasn't going to want Whispered Words. But it's kind of grown on me here. This feels like a card, you know, as I put together in, you know, the set review I deleted and then the second set review that I deleted. Kind of my feeling on Whispered Words is, like, when it comes to Noxus and the late game, we just don't really want to draw more cards, right? We typically want to be, you know, ending a game with a Decimate or playing a Savage Reckoner or an Armored Elephant, because it's so frequent that, you know, if we're drawing cards with Whispered Words, we're drawing, I don't know, Legion Drummer and Trafarian Hopeful, and like that's just not what you're trying to do at the end of the game. And so I've never been like real big on these in Noxus. You know, if this was like a I don't know, like a Piltover card or a Shurima card, then, you know, sure, maybe we could, you know, get some more usage out of this, something with a little bit more late game. But, you know, like these games are basically going to like turn 8, and it's not turning into one of these things to where, you know, I want to spend, you know, 2 mana on a Whispered Words to draw like 9 mana worth of cards and grind my opponent out, right? Because I haven't talked about it in a while, but my kind of big theory on card games like this is whoever just spends the most mana wins the game. And so, you know, aggro decks are good because we, you know, spend 10 mana in the first, you know, 4 turns of the game. Our opponent only spends 6. We're at a big advantage. And then control decks win the game because they spend 100 mana and we're only able to spend 70. And so I think that's a lot of what it comes down to. And, you know, if we're taking that into consideration, you know, Noxus is always on the 10 mana by turn 4 plan and not the 70 mana at the end of the game plan. And so Whispered Words, you know, just thematically doesn't fit in with what they're trying to do. But, I mean, it's been reasonable here. Long story short, that was a long story for a little bit on Whispered Words. But here, I think I want to get rid of this Guillotine for the Rite of Calling. You know, the Bloody Business does play to a lot of our strategies, but I think we're kind of good on, like, striking and having removal and stuff. You know, I wouldn't be upset to pick up a Bloody Business. I just don't think we need it more than this Whispered Words. And then with this Rite of Calling, you know, this could technically just turn into a removal spell, could technically be, you know, LeBlanc if we don't have her yet. I think we can get some pretty decent usage out of this. Whereas the Guillotine is very tough for us to get a good usage of. You know, typically we just kill all of our opponent units in combat, and they aren't having any units left over to get a big value Guillotine out of. This is something where a kind of a smaller, more aggressive Draven-y type of aggro deck would like to have the Guillotine, not so much one like this. So let's pick up the right. Right, cool, pre-final battle. Always love a good pre-final battle. So yeah, after this trial, we just got to get something with Nasus and something with Jarvan, and then we've done it all. We've gotten everyone in Shurima involved. We'll see what we're able to put together. It's all right. Let's hang on to LeBlanc. Look for some cheapers. Reasonable. Is this Reputation? Yeah, her flip. I wonder if we have enough threes to where we could just like hard mulligan. It's a curiosity because there's not like a super big difference in adding a lot of these. Okay. Got 2 roses, Ballista gets us up to 3, and then 4 LeBlancs gets us up to 7. It's a lot of 3 drops. Alright, we have to tango with this thing. Tally Elisa, and I wouldn't expect much more aggression out of this guy though. Could probably just play LeBlanc and have that be the end of it. It's just I don't think we're going to get a good interaction with this thing unless we draw an exhaust. Oh.
The best lies are beautiful.
I can give it a turn. We're not in a big hurry here. Let me get to ace this rock bear. Ooh, feels good. It's gonna feel good. Okay.
Smoke and mirrors.
Maybe this was like a little unaggressive. I don't think we're going to be playing for like value frequently, but I think you know, we're going to run into, you know, reasonable units to assume that we could get some kind of hook play. Okay. Get that shit out of here.
I thought there was something good to see.
Jesus, we had to, oh noes. Oh noes. That's not good. But we gotta get more stuff on board. He's gonna sit around and draw cards and stuff.
I hate having to put my face on.
How sick would this be if we had an exhaust? This game would be done if we had an exhaust right here.
You got caught.
Okay, so he's gonna trade his Rock Hopper for Legion Drummer. That's fine. Beautiful. Could not care less about you drawing cards.
Show them the might of Noxus.
Behind ya.
Move. Keep formation.
All right, let's see if we can overwhelm him next turn. I mean, we're gonna get a Ballista Thorn of Roses and have an open, and then on the following turn be able to, you know, just draw LeBlanc and go face if we need to.
History is what
Seems pretty reasonable.
Darling, you are dressed to kill.
Is it really so obvious?
Okay.
He's seeing you.
And the gems. Cool.
History forgets, but the Black Rose remembers.
Okay, and then I guess, I mean, we have the choice. Oh, okay. If we're going to draw Exhaust, we can deal with 2 units now instead of just 1, so we can kind of ignore what he's going to play. That's good. Oh. Alright, let's do it this way.
Sing me the song of the rock dubs.
He has to do something, right? Just, oh boy. What, is this going to be a Spirit Fire? Is that what the problem is here?
Think I see something.
Okay. This would be 4, 3, 3, 10, 12, 13 total. So we can beat a Spirit Fire here. Yep. Look at that. Reading them like the greens.
Closer.
Bust here teaching lessons on hand reading. Cool. I felt like that made sense, right? He's got he's got 7 mana, is not playing cards, and we're turning off his units, and he's like, I'm just not going to play anything that's a Spirit Fire, and so. All right, nonetheless, with these, I don't want Desert Naturalists. I'm okay with getting rid of Rite of Calling. It's, you know, okay-ish here. I still don't really like it, but Naturalist, I don't think we're going to get a ton of value out of this, and it's pretty expensive. So I'd just rather have the 5th LeBlanc. You know, this is kind of interesting. I still think, you know, since we have all LeBlancs as our champion, being able to draw this, you know, Mystic Shot, pretty cool. So I'm just going to skip all these. I don't think we need Savage Reckoner. I'm not opposed to picking him up if we can trade away like Sandcrafters, some of these kind of cards that don't quite play to our themes. Okay, I still haven't found a spot this trial where I want to play Ricochet, so I think I'm cool to pick up the Ruthless Predator. Okay, I could see this one. We're not taking Golden Ambassador ever, but getting rid of the Rite of Calling for Savage Reckoner, I can get behind that. He's a great piece of top end here. Ballista for Glory Seeker. I'm on board with this. You know, just this 5 attack reputation-y thing kind of really matters here. And then our last one, not trading away our 1s. I don't. Is this? You slain a unit this round, drain 2. No, not interested. Okay, I think we can skip this one. Don't want Reckoners, want to keep our 1-drops. Yeah, that's a skip. So, alright, here we go. Take a deep breath. Get ready for the final battle. Get a nice stretch in. Celebrate 311 day. Looking good. Hey, we got one of those little things. I pointed at it. I was stretching back, so maybe you can see me point if I do this. We got one of those little things. All right, we're on the odds. I'm gonna get rid of LeBlanc. We have 4 copies and a bunch of 3-drops. Probably gonna regret this later, but you know, we did pick up a Rockhopper who's kind of exactly what we're looking for here. Beautiful. This is the old Jarvan Renekton, all the challengers.
I have my orders.
And then I'm not going to open here. This Rockhopper is too good.
If it's made of sand, I can ride it.
Activate our shape stones for later as well. Ooh, get in there, son. Oh, shit. That's it. That's all it takes sometimes, man. The 2-turn final battle. Get wrecked. So, oh, well, that was that, I guess. It's a little, a little something for the end. Shit. So, all right. Well, that's how you get to 7. So cool. I mean, this came together reasonably well. I still stand by a lot of the things I said at the beginning. This reputation theme, not that interesting. You know, maybe at some point in the future there'll be better payoff. But like, at what point did we ever see anything that we wanted? Like, you know, we had a real struggle even hitting reputation, which is, you know, that's part of that's on us. We saw a lot of, you know, the landmarks that generate 5 attack units and stuff like that, and it's just not really worth building towards. I think in general, you know, this like quick attack challenger theme, we've loved it forever, and you know, having even just, you know, LeBlanc plus Legion Drummer as our quick attackers, and then having like infinite ways to give things vulnerable, I love it. I'm never going to stop loving this. It's such a great theme. You know, between having Exhaust, our boy, our boy Rockhopper and all these Ruthless Predators. I mean, we have 8 ways to get vulnerable, and pairing that up with LeBlanc and being able to set up these attacks to where, you know, we're either getting a value attack, and then, you know, LeBlanc punches through. We're getting a trade, and then they have to decide if they just want to chump block LeBlanc. Like, you just get so many good plays and good ends on these, and then even, you know, you have things like Dunekeeper generating Sand Soldiers and then getting an attack with a Sand Soldier on something. It's just, even the minor combos here are pretty good. And so, you know, this feels like a pretty good combo. I think if, you know, in the future, you know, if we're going to be with LeBlanc, we would ideally, you know, be with, you know, I think like the 100% top-notch best LeBlanc deck is probably going to be Mono Noxus. You know, we aren't going to play like mimic combos or whatever people do in constructed. It's just, that's never going to happen in expedition. It's like she's just so good at being aggressive. And then, you know, between LeBlanc, what are these other dudes called? Trifarian Hopeful and Trifarian Glory Seeker. It's just such a powerful early game curve. And so, yeah, again, I think she's going to be best if we get her paired with like a Nox and my Darius, just to have some of those, you know, real early game plays, maybe get some Basilisk Riders and then have Darius to close out the game. I think she's going to be very good with all the Dravens. Just a lot of really good early game plays. Going to be very good with all the Rivens. You know, just having those 2 reforge early game plays, just so top notch. And so, you know, I think she'll be good there. I don't know if that's, you know, better than this combo again of good Shurima cards. Again, I do want to call out, you know, if you want to see, Nasus has this, right? This Exhaust Rockhopper Ruthless Predator down here, Bakai Sandspinner, Rampaging Bakai. This also exists in Renekton, right? Here's Renekton, Exhaust Rockhopper Predator down here. Rampaging Bakai. Does he not have the other one? There it is, Sand Spinner. And so those 5 sets of cards are humongous in here. Like, and so the thing I'm like not sure on with a lot of these themes, because it's like all we've been doing since the set was released is just like challenging everything down and just having these ultra powerful challenger combos I don't know if we're going to be able to continue to do this in the future. I don't know if like the appearance bonuses only works for champions, and so we're just like seeing a whole bunch of um, say it's like pick 6 on the wild pick, and we're just seeing more Shurima cards because it has those enhanced pick bonuses. I've never remembered if that's fully how it worked or if it only applies to champions, but I don't know if we're still going to be able to assemble these decks in the future where we have 3 exhausts, 2 rock hoppers, and 3 predators. I've had like 3 rock hoppers and so many trials here over the past week. I think this kind of like backs itself off a little bit. I remember this. This seems to be very much the problem we had at the beginning of Call of the Mountain, where it was like you're playing Leona and you have like 4 Solari soldiers and 6 Solari shield bearers. I think it kind of fixes itself in the future. And so I don't think these all these vulnerables will be as intense in the future, but if they are, this will still be a pretty powerful combo. And so yeah, again, this is one of these decks to where I don't have a real hard and fast way of saying what you want to do. As far as LeBlanc goes, you want to really low to the ground an early game curve. So you're going to focus heavily on your 1s and 2s and 3s, and then you're going to want to find some cheap ways to interact with your opponent's units. And so, out of Shurima, we're getting this from Exhaust and Rockhopper Ruthless Predator. I talk about them over and over and over again, but this quick attack challenger theme is so good here. But yeah, I mean, as far as LeBlanc is concerned, you're going to want to be aggressive. You're going to want to have a bunch of early game plays in it. Just make sure that you find something else to do with them. Here we did the quick attack challengers. Kind of we mentioned with these other themes, say like with Noxus, full Noxus, you're just closing out with overwhelms, or you're getting a Darius going or a Draven going or something. Just find some like other reasonable combos, and you should be pretty well set. As far as this is concerned, though, I guess the big takeaways here are, don't go all in on reputation. It's just not worth it. The if you incidentally get reputation and you're able to play, LeBlanc flips for 1 and you can draw 2 cards for 2, then great. But don't go out of your way to try to get reputation. There's just not enough payoff as it stands right now. And then as far as LeBlanc is concerned, I would also not pursue the 5 attack matters theme, and so I wouldn't be trying to jam Trifarian Assessors in here. I would probably play Reckoning if I had it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to try to find it and shape my deck to fit it. And so if you can find some of these 5 attack matters combos, then great, but don't really pursue them. And so I think that's kind of where we stand here. With LeBlanc, stay aggressive, find a way to interact, keep your curve really low. Don't chase after reputation. Don't chase after 5 attack matters, and then I think you'll be good to go and ready for 7 wins. You might even win your final battle in 2 turns. So that's what we were able to do. All right, there's all kinds of shiny shit on here. It looks like we got some rewards to pick up. Let's see what we have. Ooh, concurrent timelines. Maybe we'll get this Commander Ladros deck in an expedition at some point. Okay, what do we got here? An epic wildcard. Cool. I wonder if there's a board. I've been needing to change my board. I just haven't done it yet. Is there one on here? Prismatic rewards. That's what we're all about. Sunbeams and stuff, and cards, and wild cards, and card backs. No boards. Premium Azirs. Well, guess we'll just have to go and purchase one. But nonetheless, let's continue on through these rewards. Ruin Runner. I haven't seen Ruin Runner in Expedition. See this guy? It's so strange to me. Like I'm cool with it. I mean, I understand a lot of the problem as to where you primarily play Expeditions. You want to try the new cards, and they don't put the new cards in Expeditions. That sucks for you, right? But there's so many cards that just haven't shown up here. Like the big thing that surprised me is LOR.mobilytics. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that this was like a card, right? We go to Shurima Landmarks. Yeah, like Ancient Preparations does not exist in Expedition. Emperor's Dais, I think it might exist. I'm not 100% sure. And so, like, I'm not sure with these if, they're just waiting on, future decks to put these in, or if they, want to swap something in or swap something out, or if, when they're testing Ancient Preparations, Talia was just way too strong. But it was very surprising to me that I don't think I've seen Windswept Tomb, Emperor's Dais, or Ancient Preparations throughout everything I've seen in Expedition. Maybe, but I don't think so. Like the Emperor's Dais might exist in a card pool. I don't think it exists in Azir. Um, like yeah, like this is where it would be. It's not here. It's not in Talia. Uh, so yeah, like I'm kind of curious what the what the deal is with that. Not saying that in a what's the deal with this? That's fucked up. No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just curious, what the reasoning was behind that. If they were too good, if it's something coming in the future, or what. But yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting take. Kudos to the devs for that. I like seeing stuff like that. But oh no, hang on. We already looked at our deck. We just got more rewards to click on. I got too many things going on here. All right. Is that got the home button? We got a weekly chest or something. Sounds good. Couple diamonds. Ooh, and the upgrade. Nice. Love seeing these commons come in. See, Soul Spinner, another one. I don't think Soul Spinner was added to Elise, but it was added somewhere weird. It was added to like not like a Nocturne. I don't want to say it was Nocturne, but I don't think this was added to Elise. Oh, double champions. Look at that. Oh, I thought that was going to be premium. That's like when you open one of these packs in Hearthstone and you got like all the premiums coming at you and you're like, what? Double champions, though. Pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Okay. Moving on. Moving on. Something cool. All the shards, that's what I was hoping for. Gotta get 200,000. Upgrades. Cloud Drinker, totally not an expedition. Oh, that card sounds abysmal. It's one of those cards like Jay Madara that's just, it's either like completely unplayable or completely bonkers, and there's never any in between. But cool, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I hope you all learned how to increase your reputation just a little bit. Maybe you learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.